Hello, this is Ryder, and welcome to another edition of Jacob Lenhoff Tours the World. This is part three of his series, and what we're going to do today is he suggested for me to do three things about the type of movies that I have seen lately, and I'm going to also go over some of the things that he suggested for me to say in this upcoming upload in this part three series. Okay, the movie that he suggested for me to do a review on was the movie Get a Job. It is a comedy movie that runs for 82 minutes long. It is directed by Dylan Kidd, and it is in the movie stars Miles Teller, Anna Kendrick, Marcia Gay Harden, and Bryan Cranston. So there are some pretty big names in this rather low key, low budget comedy. Of course, it's got to be a low budget comedy because it only runs for 82 minutes long. But hey, you know what? I could sit through movies that last 82 minutes long. That's definitely not a problem. Sometimes it's not the length of the movie that really counts. It's just as long as there's some good quality laughs and that there's some good quality stuff that will get you going, then so be it. Uh, okay, the movie goes something like this. After graduating from college, it seems that Will Davis, played by Miles Teller, and Jillian Stewart, played by Anna Kendrick, they've just recently graduated from college, and they're struggling looking for good quality jobs. They're doing menial stuff. Of course, like when you graduate from college, do you expect you'll end up getting this big, glorious job? Not always. Many people have struggled all their lives to look for their dream jobs, and sometimes getting their dream jobs could end up being a pain in the ass. So then they have to sort of end up doing jobs that are not so dreamy like. But with the help and the support of friends and family, their journey to look for whatever job they're pursuing becomes a little more adventurous to them. To be honest with you, did I really like this movie? I can't really quite say that I did. It wasn't really that great. I could tell that the jokes don't always seem to measure up, and the script at times tends to fall flat. But then again, maybe my expectations were a little too high since being this is a lowbrow comedy. I guess if you're kind of into that kind of stuff, then that's fine. If you're only in for the laughs, that's fine. But you have to sort of have an uplifting script to really get people's attentions going. I mean, you just can't just depend on a comedy just based on the facets of entertainment. And for this movie, I can't really quite give it that high of a mark. But I guess to be fair, that it had entertained me. There was, I guess, Miles Teller and Anna Kendrick, for what it's worth. They gave it their all. It was good to see some veteran performers like Marcia Gay Harden and Bryan Cranston be in this. Bryan Cranston, he's quite versatile. His comedy can also date back to like the early '90s when he was a recurring character on Seinfeld, or when he played Hal Wilkerson on the TV series Malcolm in the Middle. So, comedy also comes in him. I mean, he doesn't just do thrillers like Breaking Bad, or doesn't always necessarily have to be movies where he has to necessarily take himself seriously. Cranston is probably one of the main reasons why I actually went to see the movie. I do remember uh, Miles Teller from the movie. I think it was Rabbit Hole. Yeah, Rabbit Hole. He was actually in that movie. That's how far back I kind of remember him. But I think with more experience in the acting field from him and Anna Kendrick, I think they'll get better. Rome wasn't built in a day, so if you just give them time and you give them the opportunity to shine, maybe they will go far. They're still pretty young in their careers, and the future, as I always say, looks bright. Okay. Uh, well, as you all know, 2016 has not is still is still a long way to go, but I will point out two movies that I enjoyed a lot last year, and maybe this may not necessarily be in the same level as Oscar-winning greats go, but there were two movies that really set the tone for me, that gave me a great level of impression. The two movies that I enjoyed quite a lot was the movie Run All Night. Run All Night stars has some good all-star quality in there. We got Liam Neeson, Ed Harris. They're the two big main stars in this movie. Boyd Holbrook, Joel Kinnaman. They were fantastic in this movie. The movie the movie Run All Night stars Liam Neeson as Jimmy Conlon. He used to be once a top-notch, uh, dedicated, decorated assassin who has worked mostly with the Russian mafia, led by Sean Maguire, played by Ed Harris. One day, um, one day, Joel Kinnaman, who plays a chauffeur, took two, I believe it was two Lebanese guys to their home, and these two Lebanese they were making a deal with Sean Maguire. They escorted them to their house, only to realize that at the last second, Maguire's son, played by Dylan Holbrook, I forget his name, he murders these two Lebanese guys, and Joel Kinnaman, he witnessed it. For fear that the word would leak, Sean's son, I believe his name was Danny, was following Jimmy Conlon's son to his house, and his character, because Danny wanted to kill um, Jimmy's son, but then Jimmy came over and he shot his ex-boss's son. So now Jimmy Conlon, Jimmy's son, are now on the run, and of course, the mafia. Of course, the FBI is not going to do anything because, as you all know, Jimmy Conlon works for the Irish mafia. So now they're on the run, and now it's up for Jimmy Conlon to take down Maguire's mafia, and in hopes that his son is safe and secure. with his pregnant wife and his two daughters. So this is an action movie. There's a lot of excitement in this movie, and it's just fun to watch. So I highly recommend that. The other one I'm also was particularly fond of was the movie Far From the Madding Crowd, which was directed by Danish um, director by the name of Thomas Vinterberg, and it's based on a novel by Thomas Hardy. And the stars of the movie were Carey Mulligan. This was a period piece movie, and I'm actually quite fond of period piece movies, particularly those of Thomas Hardy, Jane Austen, and such. Carey Mulligan was in it. Matthias Sonarts, Michael Sheen, and I guess you could say this movie kind of had a little bit of a feminist touch to it. It's about an independent spirited landowner who seems to be somewhat business savvy. She inherited her her aunt's land her aunt's land after she died because her aunt didn't really have anybody else to inherit the land to, so she gave it to her. And she's a landowner. She seems to be a very smart businesswoman, and even for a period piece film, that was kind of a rare thing. But she was very high strung. She didn't really care too much about marriage, even though there were three suitors who were more than determined to marry her. But she kind of sort of backed them off. One of them was a shepherd who also once owned the land, but then his land kind of burned down. So he thought that by marrying her, he and her could share the land and run the business together. But she didn't really want any part of it. The second one was already a landowner who wanted to merge it so that they could expand. And the third one was a soldier who seemed to be downstruck because his wife stood him up at the church, which was a total misconception. She actually attended the wrong church. So he was, somewhat pissed off about the whole thing. But it was a fun movie. A great drama, and I was often curious as to like who she would end up with. So it kind of was like what you call a period piece, 1800 type um, soap opera, so to speak. One woman with three suitors trying to win her heart and stubbornly trying to push them aside because she wants no hand in marriage. She wants to be independent. Not a bad movie for what it was. I know it's been made about maybe three or four other adaptations, but this is the one that I kind of like the most. It was very fun. It was very enjoyable. Carey Mulligan really pulled it off. Michael Sheen was great. Belgian actor Michael Schonarts was also pretty good. I didn't really like the soldier character too much because he was kind of a bit over the top. I guess you could say he may have came across as being a bit of the antagonist in the story, but the end result was two of them met their fate. One was killed by another suitor. The other suitor was pleaded insanity, so he went to jail. And that's so it ended up with her marrying the shepherd. So I guess you could say that if you've never seen the movie, I would strongly suggest. I don't want to really give away too much spoilers, but I guess that's kind of like the way it went. Okay, how often do I go to the movies? Well, to be honest with you, I don't really go to the movies that much. Most of the time, I just wait for the things to come out on DVD. But when I do go, it's very, very rare that I really go to the movies. A lot of the stuff that come out in the movies, I just wait till it comes out on DVD or when it comes out on television. Okay, because to be honest with you, I really don't go to the movies that often. A lot of times, I just wait until it comes out on DVD or when it's seen on my local movie stations. Um, I do actually, uh, if I do go to a movies, yes, I definitely do go buy popcorn and drinks. Now, I don't know how much I like the butter on the popcorns because I know it's kind of greasy and oily. But hey, you can't go to a movie and not eat popcorn. The drinks are okay, they're kind of expensive. Sometimes I may have to wear a long sleeve shirt when I'm in a movie theater because, yes, it does get cold. Sometimes, but it's nice to, sit in a nice cool theater during the summer. But during the winter, it's also kind of cold at times. I don't mind watching a movie at a theater, but the thing of the matter is that there's a lot of distractions. And I think one of the things that kind of bugs me about watching a movie is the fact that there's always people who have their pagers and cell phones. I kind of wish that people would refrain from using pagers and cell phones when you're watching a movie. When you're watching a movie, you're watching a movie. What are you doing with a cell phone or your pagers or your smartphones? You should turn them off when you're watching a movie. Or if you want to turn your smartphone on, do it outside. Don't do it in the theater. Have some respect for the other patrons who actually want to see the movie. That's kind of the things that kind of disturb me about watching movies. So that's why I don't really go there that often. A lot of times it's just to wait till it comes out on DVD so I can watch it in the privacy of my own home. I kind of hope that kind of answers your questions. So this is Eric Ryder. So on behalf of Jacob Lenhoff Tours the World, this is Eric Ryder signing off, and hope to see you again soon. Sometime we'll probably do another Jacob Lenhoff thing in the upcoming future uploads. So until then, this is Eric Ryder signing off, wishing you all the best on behalf of myself and Jacob Lenhoff Tours the World. Goodbye.